Hello, my friend, and welcome. My name is Timo, and the video you're about to see is one full module of my SaaS blueprint here completely for free on YouTube. The video of the first module in here. And let me just refresh my Stripe here once again, because I always like to show proof that I know a little bit what I'm talking about. And I can also click here on next. Without further ado, here is the full module video. Please enjoy. If you want to check out the full SaaS blueprint, it's going to be the first link in the bio. And I hope you enjoy this video. Welcome, my friend. You have made it to the first module of this blueprint, and congratulations to you, because that means you're already better than 50% of people who will not even open the first module after they get this blueprint, right? So a big welcome to you. I got my Coke Zero ready, and I'm ready to dive into this and give you all my knowledge that I've acquired over the last couple of years in SaaS, building multiple SaaS, and also my current SaaS that is going really, really well. So why are you here, right? Let's look at this table quickly, because just to make you aware again why you want to build a SaaS, right? On the left, you see the years, right? Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 5, and so on. And we're going to compare one-time revenue versus subscription revenue. And why subscription revenue is just the cheat code in nowadays society, right? Everything is turning a subscription, as we see. But here's why you should do it too. Because let's say you charge one time, right? You get 1,000 customers per year. You make about 100 grand every year, okay? 500 grand after 5 years. Not bad. Really, really good, right? Let's say though, this would not be a $99 product, but this would be a $99 yearly subscription, right? So in the first year, you have 1,000 customers, same as in the one-time revenue, right? In the second year, you have nearly doubled your revenue already, because obviously you still get payments from the people who signed up in the first year, right? And yes, there's people going to churn from your subscription, right? Churning means they're dropping off, they're canceling, they're unsubscribing, right? This is completely normal. And let's say 7% of people churn, that's like a normal churn. You're still left with like $191,000 in the second year, right? Accumulatively, nearly $300,000, right? And that trickles down. And if we look at 5 years, right, you have made 500K with the one-time revenue, and you made 1.3 million with subscriptions, right? That is just bonkers. Not only mentioning the amount of money you make, but also the value that your software, your company is worth. It's just exponential, right? You can sell this. You can sell this for a lot of money, right? Now, why should you even listen to me, right? Just to recap a little bit, like what I've done and why you should listen to me. I have built multiple SaaS, some with co-founders, some completely by myself. Just here, some Stripe subscription revenue screenshots, right? You probably saw this in my YouTube videos already, so I don't need to show you all of that again. But I have started my SaaS journey with Ginny, which is ChatGPT on WhatsApp. It was a very, very simple app, but got over 400,000 users in a very short amount of time. I quickly realized that I want to do a little bit more than just having a little B2C app where I can charge like $6 a month for. That's why after about a year into Ginny, I looked after B2B opportunities in the same space, founded Setter AI, my current main business, which just exploded in the recent months. We have gained customers there, like as you see, like Mind Valley, for example, huge company, and having anywhere from people paying us $250 a month to $5K a month, right, for a SaaS, which is really, really, really beautiful. And I also started a couple of other side hustle SaaS that I'm currently building whenever I have free time. I don't want to do too much things at the same time, but when I have time, I want to experiment with all the new stuff that comes out in AI. And I have built wait lists for all of my SaaS. I'm going to show you in a bit how I approach always the validation process of my SaaS, right? So that I know that I'm actually building something useful here. And so I'm doing well. I fund my entire life with SaaS, and it's it's the best business model that I've done. I had an agency before that, so I started out as a agency owner when I was just graduating college, actually. And I did that for about 2.5 years in Germany, actually. We had months of nearly 60K revenue there, right? We were 3 co-founders, e-commerce agency. And man, I was burned out. I was not liking it. I was burned out all the time. We had to hire people, a lot of people. We had like 10 employees at some point, right? And then 60K revenue is not that much anymore. And I was just like, damn, I want something that has more margins, right? Agency doesn't have really high margins, especially if you like do with a lot of people. So yeah, I learned my lessons. And after I sold the shares of my agency to one of my co-founders, I founded Ginny like 2 weeks later or something. It was a great timing because that's when ChatGPT just came out. So yeah, that was really good timing. Now, one more thing, right, before we dive right in. We are living through an era that is comparable with the launch of the internet, right? The opportunities are endless, and some people say it's even bigger than the internet, right? But in the end, it all depends on you in the end. Are you putting in the work? Are you able to focus on one thing? And are you able to also not give up when things get hard? Because they will just get hard, right? That is the nature of business. I want you to remember this graph here, right? This will, like your business journey will exactly look like this graph, right? It's going to happen. And it all depends as if you stick to your goal right here, right? So in the beginning, everything is hype. AI, SaaS, blah, blah, blah. Everything is great, right? You may get your first customers, your visitors, everything is going good. But then you may struggle with, I don't know, building some features for your product, or then all of a sudden growth slows, or people churn from your product and you're like, oh my God, is this even the right thing? So you're going to get in this mode. All of the people that I know in business went through this cycle. This is just like given. There's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be one long stretch often where it's not really going well and you're like, damn, should I just like drive Uber or something, or should I continue with this, right? This is going to be the two choices. There will come times when you feel like giving up, and it sounds cliche, but the best thing to do in these times is just to keep going. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not easy. It's just simple but not easy. For example, Saturday, we were stuck at 3K MRR for 6 months. Okay, and I was like, man, is this the right thing, right? Is this even going to work? Like you think about this every day, right? Should I just do something completely different, right? And then in 1 month, we were not this guy that stopped searching for diamonds. In 1 month, we quadrupled the business, like the MRR, right? Not just revenue, the MRR, the monthly recurring revenue. And I'm like, wow, okay, that is, it can just happen overnight, literally. Like the overnight success, what people talk about is, yeah, it's not overnight. It's over a long stretch of period of time. And the one that keeps going the longest usually wins in the end, right? The good thing is you're not alone. In this blueprint, I will give you literally all the knowledge that I have, and that should set you up really, really well. But there will be things that I cannot cover. And for that, you have a magical friend called ChatGPT that answers literally all of your questions, right? I'm serious. Before you even think about asking any human about a problem that you have, just ask AI, right? Like it's getting ridiculously good, right? It's better, it's more smarter than any Stanford professor, right? So if you have a question, just ask AI. In almost all cases, it will be better, faster, and more precise than any human. So download the ChatGPT app to your desktop, right? It will be your best friend. I'm literally, whenever I think about something, I'm just asking AI. Let me take a sip here of the Coke quickly. Like I'm using AI 4 to 6 hours a day for everything, right? Be it like find me the best hotel or find me how to code, blah, blah, blah. With that said, let's jump right into the good stuff, right? That's why you're here for module 1, the idea. First of all, for a fast start, go ahead and duplicate my Notion sheet, the idea tracker and app planning template, right? That will already help you stay focused on one thing and very quickly filter out which ideas are good and which ideas are not worth. There's an explanation in that sheet on exactly how to use it, and I use it for every single one of my ideas, right? To quickly say, okay, is this even worth it? There's things like, okay, how good is the market, right? Is the market growing? Is there other businesses in that field with substantial revenue, right? If there's not, just don't even think about it, right? Like every idea on this planet has been tested, right? Then filter your ideas and then start with the one that ends up at the top. It's very easy. I think many people they have a lot of ideas, but then they don't know which one should I start with and stuff. This will make it easy. Get inspired by my idea list sheet. You will also find that around this video here. Now, start with problems, right? Always start from a problem, not the solution. Good ideas don't come to you when you sit at home. Go outside, talk to people, listen to a podcast while walking. You can start by solving your own problems. You are the best person to understand and solve your own problem. And if you have that problem, there's a very good chance that other people have the problem as well, because there is 8 billion people on this earth. You are the expert of your own problem. Leverage that insight. Don't start with something that you can make, but how you can solve someone's problems, right? Don't think about the solution first, but think about the problem first. The beginner mistake is, I don't know, I want to have my friends more connected or something. I mean, you could find a problem there, but that has just been proven, okay, there is very little money in that space, or it's just completely dominated by social media apps, right? There is no real problem in that, right? Think more about, for example, B2B ideas is very, very easy to find a problem and nail a problem. But of course, also for B2C, you can find problems. How to find problems day-to-day to solve? Look at your own day-to-day life. I don't know, Cal AI probably came from people that were frustrated with calorie tracking. What bothers you? What could be improved? For me, for example, I hate gym tracking. I would love if there's a better app that I can track my workouts. Maybe I'm even going to build that. If you're in a job, that's actually a cheat code. Because that can lead to huge B2B ideas. There has been countless stories of people from a job that did a tedious task every single day, and they were like, this cannot be true. I can build a software that can handle this better, right? So if you're in a job, that's actually a pro, because then you don't build unnecessary shit that nobody wants, but you actually, if you can apply to your own job already, that is a big pro. Now, to get big, you have to start small. The riches are in the niches. These are all true things, very true things. And you will learn that if you try to build a general tool, and you're not a VC funded startup with $100 million capital and who can do a bunch of ads, then you will not succeed. You have to start with one niche and then go further. I love this table here from Hormozi. If you don't know Alex Hormozi, he is the G when it comes to online marketing. In general, good guy. You should read his books, $100 million offers and $100 million leads. Great books. Now, for example, let's say you have a time management tool or time management course or something like that. There's 1,001 out there, right? So you can maybe sell that for $20, right? If you sell that with to everybody. Now, if you sell that to sales professionals, you can charge $100. If you take the same product, right? It can be the same product, but you just name it differently, right? Time management for outbound B2B sales. Oh, that sounds like really high ROI, right? Okay, if I get 2 hours more per day of focus, I can make X more closes. So that courses or that software is worth $400, right? Or you go even more niche, right? For gardening and sales reps. I think you get the gist. Easy way to do that in software is you take a software that is completely they're trying to do everything. Let's say MailChimp, right? You go for MailChimp, and they try to target every niche, everyone, and then you just MailChimp 4x, right? Or you take any huge software, and do like 4x. I'm going to go later in this video about how to niche down. That is a really good strategy on how to do these niches where you can actually charge more for the same product than the incumbent, like the big company. Okay. Now, I love this table. This originates from Peter Levels. Just again shows you how powerful subscriptions are, right? Let's say you want to make $1 million and you only need, right, like 500 people to pay you $167 a month. Pretty crazy, right? If you do one-time purchases, there's a lot more people you need to sell. Or you do like high-ticket B2B, like I do right now, high-ticket B2B SaaS. At like 1K a month, you don't need actually that many people to pay you 1K a month to get to $1 million a year. Now, secondly, how do you pick the right market? The right market consists of pain, purchasing power, how easy it is to target, and is the market growing, right? Pain, do these people have severe pain that they're facing, right? Just ask AI, right? Does that market have pain? What is the pains? How hard is the pain, right? You can even ask ChatGPT, rank me the pain from like 0 to 10, right? Do you have experience in that problem yourself? That is a pro. Then you can actually already know more about the problem than other people. But also, if it's not nowadays, just ask AI. Literally just ask AI, right? Is it nice to have, or is it a real pain? That means, is it like a cool feature maybe to have, but it's not really something that people pay for, or is it like a real pain, right? Purchasing power. Hormozy says, sell to rich people, they pay better. It's very true, very true. Of course, you can also sell to people who don't have that much money, but you need a lot of volume. Both is possible. For example, though, older people have more money than younger people, and there's actually more older people than younger people. You will not believe it. So, for example, if you sell, let's say you sell something for relationships, everybody focuses on Gen Z, right? Tinder, blah, blah, blah. What if you focus on older people, actually? Because they're probably even more lonely than younger people, and they have more budget, and there's more of them, right? So just like if everybody goes this direction, go this direction. How easy it is to target. So when I think of an idea, the very first thing that I start with, where do I find these people and how would a post look like on social media, right? So I scroll on social media, like as we all do, and I always, when I see a post that could be a really good ad for my business, I save it, right? Or if I just think, for any business, this could be a really good post, save it. Growing. That is actually very important. Is the market growing or is it shrinking? As an example, from my own business, Saturday, right? We started out with doing AI phone calls for businesses. Okay, we realized though that phone is actually not a growing market. It may be even a shrinking market. It is definitely not a growing market. It's more like a stable market. The reason is people receive so many spam and scam calls, for example, in the US. They don't even like to pick up the phone anymore, right? And then go to services like WhatsApp, maybe do like a WhatsApp phone call, right? That is more trusted than traditional phone. Yes, of course, people still use phone a lot, but we had more success going to other channels than phone, right? So easy thing to do is go to Google Trends and to quickly determine, is that market growing or not? For example, like put in content creation, you see like, boom, it's fucking growing, right? Put in magazines and you see, nah, this is not good, right? Even if you have a really good idea for this market for magazines, you're just gonna have such a hard time, right? Because you're playing to survive. You're playing to like swim on top, right? And with this market, the tide is just going up. It's just so easy, right? There's so much space for new companies that can explode. Like you see all these content creation companies that are popping off, like WOP, like School, like Stan Store, for example, right? There's probably room for 20 more, right? So growing market just makes everything easier for you. Yeah, tools here. Google Trends. great tool, free tool. Just put it in. You exactly see, okay, where is it going, right? You shouldn't spend too much time with it, just to get a feel, right? Is this market going up or down, right? 3 markets that always work, evergreen markets that you can always go into. Health. Health, everybody wants to be healthy. There's of course 1,001 niches in there. Weight loss, weight gain, whatever, right? All these different niches. Improve how people feel, improve how people look, how long they live, right? Brian Johnson trend, like the longevity trend, right? Build them habits, or how they gain peace of mind, right? Wealth, same thing. Health, wealth, relationships are the 3 markets that are always there. Help people increase revenue, help them save money. You will see all of this in text form in the around this video as well. Manage people's money, protect wealth, also a great one. For example, I have some rich friends who are really, really afraid always of losing money. That's why like all these money manager or like hedge funds exist, just to protect their wealth, right? Relationships, right? Finding a partner, keeping a partner, all of that stuff. Really, really, really good market. Now, where do you find B2B problems that people pay money for? Finding problems in B2B is quite straightforward. Okay, businesses all fall into the wealth niche, right? A business is just there to create money, basically. It's quite easy to isolate a problem there. You can look at reviews, for example, on like Capterra or G2 of like what people like about a business and what they don't like about a business, and then build a version of that with the feature that people like, for example. And generally, like, businesses, they want to make more money or save money. I have made the experience that if you're in the make them more money niche, they pay you way more than if you save them money, okay? And as a ballpark, 15% of the value that you create is a good range what you should charge them. Again, ChatGPT will be your best friend. Ask what problem your industry that you think about has or niche has. Look at the reviews and comments on existing solutions, as I said, on G2. Every business needs more money, needs more customers, reduce churn. So like marketing software, sales software kind of always work for businesses, right? And they all fall in the wealth category. One good one is the Stripe Annual Letter 2024. You can find it online on Google, but I will, if I don't forget, I will link it here in this, around this video as well. There's some really good vertical SaaS ideas as well in there. So they focus a lot on vertical SaaS. I highly recommend you to read that. There may be an idea in there where you think like, damn, that's it. Strategies to find proven ideas that I use. I don't know what happened to this picture here. But I have 2 strategies. One is the Samver strategy, and one is the go to another industry strategy. First of all, don't try to be a first mover. I think here was a book picture in there. That is the Steel. What was the name of the book? I forgot it. Great Artist Steal, something like that. Anyways, no ideas are original, right? Don't try to be the next Zuckerberg. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't need to be that if you want a $1 million business, right? Do what has been proven to work, make it better, iterate, look at comments, feedbacks, reviews, and make it better. You don't want to be the next potential like unicorn thing. With like a lot of risk. You just want to succeed like 999 times out of 1,000, right? And just steal what has been proven to work, make it a little better, or make a niche version out of it, right? These 3 guys are the Samver brothers, extremely successful entrepreneurs from Germany. They are known for copying businesses. Okay, they literally like made one-on-one copies of businesses. That's why they're not so much liked in Silicon Valley, of US companies, and put them in the German market. That was their business model. they famously copied eBay just when eBay launched, copied eBay to Germany and sold it back to eBay for over $50 million in 100 days. $50 million in 100 days. Pretty crazy, right? So this strategy has a really high success probability, because if an idea works in the US, it will likely work in other countries as well. And the US is always ahead of other countries in terms of innovation. So look up businesses, startups in the US that do big numbers, right? Go to Crunchbase, Product Hunt, Twitter. You will find startups. You will find their revenue numbers if you Google or ask ChatGPT, right? And yeah, look for like big launches as well, right? You will see on Twitter always each day there's going to be like one VC startup with like a big video out there, and they're like, we are the next blah blah blah. Or we raised X funding. You see the funding numbers on Crunchbase, and then just see, okay, is that something I'm interested in? And okay, if they get so much funding, that means that there is something, right? So why don't I go ahead and try it as well in my country? Make that for Spain, make that for Uzbekistan, make that for Thailand, right? Localize is really strong. You potentially save yourself years of trial and error trying to find like the right angle, right? This is, by the way, not only being done in SaaS. This is being done in e-commerce, coaching, everything, right? E-commerce is basically the game in e-com is finding winning products from other people, and either doing it in the same market with like better marketing or putting it in a different market. That is like how e-com works. Example of how this even works for physical businesses. There was a couple. I put it here. They cloned Starbucks. Yeah, they cloned Starbucks. Opened shops in London very quickly because they saw they were US people. They emigrated to London, and they were missing Starbucks actually back in the day. And they opened some coffee shops, did them exactly like Starbucks with a cold brew, with the seatings and stuff like that. And then they sold it back to Starbucks, like I think a couple of years later for like $83 million, right? Because the US company, they love acquiring businesses that do the same as them so they can more quickly grow in emerging markets, right? And the US businesses have all the funding to buy your company then. So this is a really good strategy. Take something that works in the US, build it, maybe sell it back to the company in the US. Good strategy, to be honest. Go where attention is, trend spotting. Twitter, follow YC-backed founders. In general, go through Y Combinator. You see all the companies that Y Combinator funded, and they only fund companies where they think they have $1 billion potential. So this is literally the list. You can go ahead and say, I want to copy this company to my country. I want to copy this company to my country. They're already like vetted ideas. Product Hunt, as I said, Reddit, or you can even find maybe TikTok, YouTube videos from bigger companies. Maybe you saw like some ads for Cal.ai or something. They're doing crazy numbers, right? Great. Strategy 2. Take something that works and make a niche version out of it. I love that one as well. It's the X for Y approach. It's the time management for sales professionals. It's the time management for outbound B2B power tools, gardening sales reps. As I said before, take something that a $1 billion company does, and they're trying to be the general tool for everybody. But as we all know, if there's a tool for everybody and then there's a tool that speaks exactly to you, let's say you are like a creator in that and that niche, right? And you see, they have exactly the features that I need, and the big one doesn't have the features. They're going to go with you, and you can even charge more than the big company for that. A good strategy for that is actually, so you go, let's say MailChimp, right? You want to do an email tool. You go to MailChimp, you scroll down completely to the bottom, and then there will be a section of like industries or use cases, right? And they will list all the use cases. They will like say newsletter for this, email automation for this, blah, blah, blah. So they literally give you all the niches that they are serving in there, and you can just pick one where you think, this is good, and like build a tool for just this. Yeah. Browse your favorite tools. See what niches or industry they target. Make a niche version out of it for another industry. I also saw this tweet, I think by Mark Liu. It's great. More ways to come up with great ideas. Browsing Twitter, listening to podcasts. I love that. Whenever I listen to like Brian Johnson or something, I get great ideas from the health niche. Oh my God, the health niche. I want to launch some products there in the future. I truly believe like once the AI robots take over, and it's happening. It's happening. Like, what is there left for us to do? It's just like expanding our, like, how long we live, how well we live, how healthy we are, right? So great niche. Now, you might think like, Timo, there is already like 100 tools in my niche. I don't think this is going to work, right? I want to tell you why competition is really good, right? I would never start a business where there is 0 competitors, right? A beginner would think, perfect, I have the entire market for myself. This is actually wrong. What would you rather want to have? Think about yourself. Would you rather have 100% of a market that is maybe $1 million, the entire market, okay? Or would you rather have 1% of like $100 billion market? Okay. Obviously, you would rather have the 1% because it's, first of all, crazy, like difficult to capture even like 100% of a small market. And just the validation of the bigger market gives you such an edge, okay? Every idea on this planet has been tried before. If there's no company in your market that has any significant traction, I wouldn't go into that, honestly. There should be at least another company that does similar things than you, who have good revenue, right? Because competition educates your market. They run ads, they do content, blah, blah, blah. People then still go ahead and compare tools right before they buy. More to that in the marketing module of this one. This is some real good juice in the marketing module. You should definitely watch that on how to basically steal traffic from the big companies, from the competitors, right before someone thinks of buying your tool, right? Competition grows also your market. Just make sure the pie is big enough, right? And the market is growing. Let's go again with the content creation market. Beautiful market, right? And I want to take an example for that. Jack Fricks, okay? Maybe you have seen him on Twitter. If not, follow him. Seems like a good guy. I don't know him personally, but seems like a good guy. He built a social media scheduling tool, okay? If you Google social media scheduling tool, there is 1,000,001 tools who do that. And there is huge companies in the market. There's Buffer. I think Buffer makes north of 20 million a year, for example. I use Buffer, for example. Now, you would think, bro, like, there's no way I can even gain any market share from that, right? But let's remember, a rising market lifts all boats, right? A rising tide lifts all boats, right? Wouldn't you have thought in 2020, right, in a pandemic year, everybody was doing TikTok videos, wanted to be a creator, right? I thought content creation peaked in like 2020, right? Did it? Let's have a look at Google, right? 2020 seems to be somewhere like here, right? Now we're here. So we like did a little 4x from there, 400% growth. Again, from the content creator market. That's crazy. How did he succeed in a saturated market, right? How did Jack Fricks succeed in that market? He looked at the tools, saw what they offer, right? Saw probably what people were unhappy with, maybe in the reviews, right? And I looked at his tool and other tools, right? I use Buffer, for example. Buffer charges me $6 per month per account connected, right? And I have like 6 accounts for business, for this, LinkedIn, multiple Instagram accounts. I'm like, this can get really pricey at some point, right? So what did he do, right? I saw, okay, wow, he has, first of all, a lot of accounts I can connect for basically very, very cheap. And then there's a tool that lets me connect unlimited accounts, right? So there's probably people who have, I don't know, 100 accounts, right? Like meme pages, whatever. So they are going to be really, really interested in this plan, right? So he targets a specific niche in that, right? He goes ahead and says, okay, I'm focusing on people who want to connect a lot of accounts, right? You see that by him highlighting this number, okay, he really wants to know the people who have a lot of accounts to use this tool. This way he differentiates himself from the competition. He also does different marketing, right? He builds in public, he shares on X his progress and what he does. This way he is not relying, for example, on SEO that much. And this way you can grow a SaaS. I think he's at 15k MRR or something like that, with a super, super saturated market. But it just works. All right, number 7, questionable but noteworthy ideas. I just saw that on Instagram and I thought it's worth sharing. Maybe you get some ideas from that. Markets that always work, basically, was like the headline. Man's lust, women's desire for beauty. Absolutely. I mean, man's lust. Let's start with first one. Man's lust. OnlyFans is, I guess, UK's biggest startup or something like that, I read. Crazy. Women's desire for beauty, man. I'm here in Thailand and I see that this is the biggest shops that you see is beauty and makeup shops here. It's absolutely going crazy. People are like from this Korean trend, from this ever growing desire for more and more beauty. It's absolutely insane. Or like shapewear and stuff like that goes crazy. Elderly's health, right? Huge in growing, or like markets that get older, like Europe, like US. Children's education. I actually have a friend. She starts a children education startup. Very interested about that, how that will go. Rich people's fear of loss, as I told you before. My friend who has really anxiety about losing his money, or poor people's desire to get quickly rich, right? Obviously also a good market. Now, some bonus about the idea picking process. Pick ideas that have a natural flywheel included, or where you can build a natural flywheel, better said, right? What is a natural growth flywheel? So flywheels are the holy grail of online marketing, okay? It leads to a product-led growth. So product-led growth means that your product grows by itself, basically, and by the product being good and being shared, you get new users for free, okay? That is the dream business to own. You will get users at zero cost, zero marketing efforts like this, right? One user brings more users to your app. That is just the best, right? You don't have to spend on ads. You don't have to do crazy marketing. One user brings more. How do these growth loops look like in SaaS, right? I've written down a bunch of examples. I'm not going to go through all of them now. You can do that around this video. I just want to highlight a few. Beehive, right? You probably have heard of Beehive. Newsletter software is growing really, really crazy right now. How do they grow? In every single newsletter, and you cannot even deactivate, I think, on the lower plans. They have a brand placement powered by Beehive at the bottom, right? Or they send it even sometimes through their own domain. So let's say you have 1,000 newsletter subscribers, you send that out, right? And everybody who opens that sees, oh, this is sent by Beehive. And then some of them are going to be like, what is Beehive, right? They click on it and they say, oh, newsletter software. Oh, I always wanted to start a newsletter. Let me sign up. Let me try it, right? Boom. They got a new customer. And like this, a snowball starts growing, right? A snowball starts rolling down the mountain and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because it just spreads like wildfire, especially if you're in like niches like content creation, like newsletters, right? The more newsletter subscribers you get, the more people will be aware of what Beehive is and may sign up. So this is an insane growth loop. I just love that growth loop, right? Another brilliant one, Calendly, right? Whenever you invite someone in Calendly, they get, what do they get? They get an email by Calendly. They said, oh, new event scheduled here by Calendly, blah, blah, blah. You cannot escape the Calendly branding in that email, right? And that person may have never heard about Calendly, but they're, again, 1 out of 100 people who receive an invite from you will be like, what is Calendly? Let me click on that powered by Calendly link. And they're going to be like, oh, that is very interesting. Let me use that as well. Oh, it's free. And then they get a lot of free users. And then the free users, some of them convert then to paid users, right? Chatbase. They also have the powered by Chatbase and like their chatbots on their website, really good. Loom, of course. If you send someone a Loom video, it's going to be Loom branded. It's going to be in the loom.com URL. So great growth loop here as well. Linktree, man, Linktree crazy because it's for creators as well. So whenever someone clicks on the link in bio on the Linktree link, obviously they see first of all Linktree the link. They may already be curious, or what is that? But then once you see the creators page and scroll down, you will then see also the powered by Linktree, and 1 of 100 people will click on it and will also sign up and use the product. Insane growth loop. So honestly, I only would start SaaS again where I can engineer some kind of growth loop. But because imagine you need to acquire and pay every time for a new customer, right? That is insane. Like your margin is going to be quite tough if, for example, run ads or something like that. And growth loops are just beautiful, right? Just really, really nice to have. So I would definitely build a growth loop. Now, one thing to avoid once you found your idea is the so-called shiny object syndrome. If you have been an entrepreneur before, you know exactly what shiny object syndrome is. Maybe you don't know the name yet, but you will now know what it is. Now, once you found your idea and you validated the idea with my Notion sheet and you did everything right and you're about to start, right? Or you have already started and you maybe go into the valley of despair. That is what we discussed before, the valley where you may be giving up. Hopefully not, right? You will get so-called shiny object syndrome if you go too much on Twitter or YouTube. And to me, that happens if I watch Greg Eisenberg, man, the YouTube channel. He just gives me mad shiny object syndrome, and I'm like, oh damn, I need to start this and this. Honestly, I would advise you to stop like watching these channels once you found your idea. It will just completely diminish your success if you jump around ideas all the time, right? So a normal curve looks like this, right? You make progress, then it goes down, goes up, goes faster, and at some point it really picks off, right? If you have shiny object syndrome, which means you always find something better every 2 weeks and start fresh and don't even start marketing and just start building something random every 2 weeks, there will never ever grow something out of that. Yeah, it's like this. So stop opening Twitter once you found your idea. Maybe once a day. Be mindful when you scroll. Be mindful of the ideas, hype posts, right? About, wow, this is the craziest stuff. Ideas are endless, right? Ideas, it's just there, right? Don't get distracted. All right, that has been it. Thank you very much for watching the first module. This has been 45 minutes of, I hope, pure value to you. And see you in the next one.